iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Buddy, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. All right, I think I want to talk a little more football today. I'm getting in a football mood. I can feel it. I don't know if you can feel it. I can feel that I'm getting in a football mood. That's right. It's June 8th. My daughter's 13 today. Where does the time go? Oh, my God. I don't know if she's getting older or I'm just getting older. But as it gets closer and closer to July, I think I'm starting to get that football itch. Because whenever I talk about it, I just get really, really excited about the fact that the season's coming up. I still love my baseball. Don't get me wrong. I still love my baseball. But, you know, football's gearing up. We're getting a lot of stories here. And I want to talk about some news and notes in the NFL. Some things that are surprising and some things that are disappointing and some things that you guys need to know. And it's never too early to know these things now. Because I find it this way. Information gets disseminated from, it's the starting point. And some people get the info early. And other people get it late. Like, for example, Eric Decker. Well, Eric Decker, we know, is not going to be a New York Jet by the end of this week. Doesn't that make Quincy Enunwa the number one receiver? And I tell you, I guarantee you, somebody that I meet probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks will say, Eric Decker's not with the Jets? And I'll be thinking, dude, where have you been? I knew this information a month ago. And then this guy looks at me, he's like, wow, you're this fantasy football genius. Well, I might be a fantasy football genius. That might be true. But, dude, the information was there a month ago. Just because you aren't paying attention, I appreciate the compliment, but you could be a fantasy football aficionado too if you paid attention. Right? A lot of this is seeing the news, paying attention, making observations, and putting the chess pieces together and seeing how they're going to work out. Therefore, okay, let's be simple here, right? Jets, no Decker, meaning Quincy Enunwa, number one. Robbie Anderson or Ardarius Stewart becomes a number two. Bingo. Not that hard. So when Quincy Enunwa goes in like the 10th or 11th round of drafts, Quincy Enunwa, why is that guy going so early? Because he's the number one receiver. The Jets stink. They're going to be behind by like 800 points in every game. Quincy Enunwa is going to be relevant in some fantasy league this year. God help us all. But that's what's going to happen. So you've got to get on the news. Jeremy Maclin released. Well, who's going to be the new starting receiver there? How about Chris Conley? Do I like Chris Conley? It's like, do you like going to your old aunt's house who pinches your cheek? Not really. You put up with her because she's a relative, but you don't really like her. It's like Chris Conley. I put up with him, but I don't really like him. This guy's the king of like 4 to 5 targets. What I do like about Chris Conley is that he's not going to demand the football, right? He's not demanding the football, which is a good thing because he's not going to get it that much. They're going to run the football a whole lot. They're going to give it to Travis Kelce. They're going to give it to Tyreek Hill, and Chris Conley will get the leftovers. So, you know, when you're at that family table and, you know, they pass around the food and you're like the last seat because they go clockwise and you're in the last seat. You're at like 11 o'clock and they hand it out at 1 o'clock first, and you're screwed at the end. You're just looking at a crumb here and a crumb there, and everybody else is like has a full plate. That's Chris Conley. But luckily you don't complain like Chris Conley, so you get to be a starter for a team. If you complain, you know what happened? They cut you too. I find the more interesting information is how somebody please explain this to me. Somebody explain how Jeremy Maclin leaves Buffalo, New York without two things. One, a belly full of buffalo wings, and two, a contract. How does he leave without that? How is this humanly possible that he doesn't leave without chicken wings in his stomach and a big contract? Let's take a look. I'd like you to listen to the Buffalo Bills receiving corps. Sammy Watkins, Zay Jones, rookie, Andre Holmes, Philly Brown, Brandon Tate, Rod Streeter. This is like garbage. Sammy Watkins I like, but he's always hurt. Zay Jones is a rookie. And Holmes, Brown, Tate, and Streeter have been cut by so many places I can't even begin to count. How do you not come home with Jeremy Maclin when LaShawn McCoy and Tyrod Taylor both go to bat for him? So not only do you not sign Maclin, you also lose the confidence in your players. If you're LaShawn McCoy and you're like, yeah, let's get Maclin. This could help our offense. Oh, we didn't get Maclin. What? Really? How excited is he going to be right now? You're Tyrod Taylor. You feel good about throwing the football to anybody in your team outside of Sammy Watkins? I don't think so. You feel good throwing the ball to Philly Brown? Nobody feels good throwing the ball to Philly Brown. And you watch. Now, I know Maclin made $12.4 million, was going to get $12.4 million. And I know he's pissed off, right? I know it. And I'm sure the Buffalo Bills offered him like $4 to $5 million. Let me get you on the cheap. So you're Maclin, and you just got cut. You were supposed to make $12.4 million, and now some dude is offering you $4 million. Now, I don't know if it was $4 million, but you know that he wasn't getting a lot. You're pissed off. There's no way you're taking $4 million. If you owe me $12 million, and you say, well, I don't have the money, but I'll pay you $4 million, would I take that? I'd go, get out of my face. Now, would I take $10 million? Sure. I'm a reasonable man. You owe me $12.4 million, and you say you're not going to pay me, and then you say, I'll say, give me 10, and you go, oh, fine, I'll give you 10. I'll take the 10. But Jeremy Maclin's going to want at least 8. Going to want 8. Now you watch. Ozzie Newsome won't let him get out of the city of Baltimore without two things. One, a plate full of crabs, and two, he's going to have a crab cake or two, a contract where he's going to offer Maclin anywhere from $6 to $8 million. And now Maclin's going to say, well, it ain't 12, but the Bills are offering me 4, so let me take the 8 from Ozzie. Boom, done, gone. That's what it's going to be. So what is Buffalo thinking? You think you're going to get Eric Decker? Maybe. I don't think Eric Decker did play in Minnesota. He's played in Denver. He's played in a lot of cold places. Maybe he'll play in Buffalo. I don't know. Maybe Buffalo didn't want to pay for Maclin when they could have Decker. I don't know the answer to that. I know they should have been paying for Jeremy Maclin. That's what I do know. And I think that may come back to... If they don't get Decker and they don't get Maclin, they're going to be in big trouble this year. Offensively, at least. Okay, a couple more pieces of news here. Coach Anthony Lynn of the Los Angeles Chargers. This doesn't seem funny to say Los Angeles Chargers. Says, Mike Williams is getting behind because of his back injury. Really? That's clever. I would never have thought about that. Thanks for sharing that, Anthony Lynn. Of course Mike Williams is behind. Mike Williams is going to be behind. He's got mild disc herniation. This guy's not playing for the next month or two. I mean, come on. And let me tell you something about Mike Williams. He is not a very good route runner. So I look at Mike Williams and I say, big upside potential in year 3, not in year 1. I'm Phillip Rivers. I got Keenan Allen Roto. I got Tyrell Williams. I've got Travis Benjamin. I've got Dontrell Inman. I've got Hunter Henry. I've got Antonio Gates. I have Melvin Gordon. Yes, I want Mike Williams, but Mike Williams does not have to do anything this year. He doesn't. And you know what? That's a good thing because I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to be doing a whole heck of a lot this year. If you are a genetic freak, you're big and you're strong, and Mike Williams not even that fast, by the way. He's fast enough, but he's not that fast. He needs to run better routes in the NFL. And that takes time to learn how to run the route tree. That doesn't take like a day or an hour. It takes maybe a year or two. Ask Laquan Treadwell. Ask Laquan Treadwell how much he played. How many catches do you think Laquan Treadwell had last year? Don't cheat. Don't look. Don't look. One target. Sorry, 3 targets. 1 catch, 15 yards. Was there anybody that was a better receiver in college than Laquan Treadwell? That guy looked great. So what does that tell you? It tells you the Chargers don't need to rush this guy, and he may take his time. So if you're counting on him this year, I hope you draft him because I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong about that one, but we'll see. Here's an interesting piece of news. The Cardinals are moving Andre Ellington back to running back. So this is a piece of news. This is a bigger piece of news than you think. And I'm going to tell you why. So first of all, Larry Fitzgerald is number 1 receiver. John Brown, as we know, is number 2. But I think this solidifies J.J. Nelson as number 3, right? And J.J. Nelson was a pretty good player. He had some very good weeks last year, so I think he's solidified as number 3. I think Jerron Brown is like a 4. And don't forget, Chad Williams is there now, and he's the number 5 because he was a 3rd-round pick. So now they have 5 legitimate receivers. Fitzgerald, Brown, Nelson, Jerron Brown, and Chad Williams. 5 guys. Okay? Therefore, Ellington, who they've always said has good hands, and I get that, but he was never going to be they just didn't want to play. They didn't have a place to play him behind David Johnson, so they wanted to move him to receiver. That's not going to happen anymore. So he's got to go back to running back, right? He's got to go back there. Now, I think Ellington is nothing more than a safety net. But if I did this, I'll tell you this right now. If I drafted number 1, I took David Johnson at 1, I'd have no problem in round 16 or 17 taking Andre Ellington. I'm not a big Kerwin Williams guy. Maybe, look, Bruce Arians, Kerwin Williams, I like him, but maybe Ellington's a little bigger. I know they signed TJ Logan. I'm okay with him, but he's not great. But I'm okay with Andre Ellington very, 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 very late in drafts. Very late in drafts. Nothing more than that. But the news here is not Ellington going back to running back as much. See, people look at that and they think, Ellington running back. That's the news. That's not the news. The news is that J.J. Nelson's the number 3, Jerron Brown's the number 4, and Chad Williams is the number 5. The news is that the Cardinals like their 5 receivers more. That's the news of the day. So when you get a piece of information, see where that information takes you. All right, one more piece that I want to talk about, Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker, I think I looked at the mock draft sheet. He was like the 45th receiver on the board. Are you kidding me? Devontae Parker is going to have a really good year. I believe Miami's offense is going to have a good year if that offensive line can stay healthy. Love Jay Ajayi. Then Julius Thomas catches 8 touchdowns. Jarvis Landry is always one of my guys. He's Jarvis Landry Roto. And I like Devontae Parker this year. I do. I think he's a difference maker with a lot of size. But once again, much like Mike Williams, Devontae Parker comes in, right, into the NFL and he realizes he's got to change. He's got to change his eating. He's got to change his route running. In high school, you could be the biggest, strongest, and fastest. When you're in college, the guy caught tons of passes for a lot of touchdowns because he's big and strong and tall. You come to the NFL, everybody's big and strong and tall and fast. You're not different. So you know what you have to do? You have to work harder than the next guy. You got to work Larry Fitzgerald hard. You got to work Chris Carter hard. You got to work Jerry Rice hard. That's why those guys are stars. Because they took their athletic gifts and they worked their butts off. When all these guys were sleeping and partying, Jerry Rice was running hills. Chris Carter was doing blow in Philadelphia until he realized, I got to put the work in. The only place success comes before work, my friends, is in the dictionary. I've said that before, I say it again. So, Parker has to put the work in. If he's willing to put the work in, he's a top 20 receiver. If he doesn't, he's just a guy with a name who was a high draft pick, who disappointed in the NFL, much like many other guys. Many other guys. All right, so that's our NFL news and notes. Tomorrow, don't forget tomorrow, my Friday mock drafts. We see if guys move up or move down on the charts and how I feel about them. I can't wait to do that tomorrow. Hopefully I'll pick a good team on air. Maybe it'll win some money. Maybe I'll win $2,500. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. I don't want you to forget something. You want it your way, we give it to you your way. What do I mean by that? We offer cheat sheets at scoutfantasy.com if you're a member. Enter the promo code ROTO, R-O-T-O. Go to scoutfantasy.com. Pay for 1 month. We'll get you 2 more for free. You get cheat sheets for your league. A limited number of league settings, customized draft and weekly rankings for your league scoring systems. What more could you want? Also, check out playffwc.com. Go to the draft lobby. Get into a draft right now. Draft and go, online championship, starter league, superflex, whatever you want. Best payouts, best customer service. That's how we roll at Scout Fantasy. Come join us, be part of the Scout Army. All right, guys, wishing you a great day. Be well, take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!